Rock and roll, guys. How you doing? Welcome back to the channel. PMR, what is the state? I get asked all the time, what do you think of PMR? I mean, I really enjoy racing PMR. There's been a lot of swear words going around, and I'm one of them. There's nothing worse than maybe you're leading the race or hosting a lobby. You're invested is the point, and then it crashes. Well, you just saw just how it is. There we were connected to the server. It took forever. Well, that's not even the problem. These are large servers, and you can see half the field get disconnected. Well, that's now the real issue. Because it's not about how it drives, it's about how it connects. Now, listen, these are people all over the world connecting in real time. That's amazing. And I can have a conversation from somebody, in England, I'm in America, or Australia, and it's real time. We're racing in real time. So, PMR, you can't skimp in this area. You've got to have high quality connection. Bottom line. And, I'll have to disconnect, shut the game off, boot the game to reconnect sometimes, to start over, whether it's frozen or won't let me have a connection, other things, this and that. Now, those are the cons. The pros, the tire to the asphalt. It's alive. The car, everybody has different force feedback, different ways of approaching the game, whether it's even on a controller. You're going to feel the weight of the car differently. I've felt it. I have a DD Plus, and I had my settings set up to where I was running on games like Gran Turismo and such. And now I come here, well, my settings weren't just exactly how maybe they could have been. I tailored them. So I had a friend comment that he had to double the strength to get where I was at. And I was like, interesting. All of a sudden I was switching and I went back to just default on my wheel, and I was blown away at the weight difference. I really would like to have seen that when the game came out. But right there, that was huge. That affected, and then now patch. It's getting better and better. You saw the videos I put out. I had to give the setup. I had to change things. Now it's not like that. They're coming out right out the box, driving, feeling good. I still like to do a little bit of some tire pressure, or I might make it rotate a little more or less if I like it for whatever track. Add some downforce or take it away. Those are things when you want some different effects about the car for different circumstances. That's a setup. And sometimes you can have a setup that's right up the middle and perform. Maybe it's not fast in the straightaway, but you get through the corner so fast you're right there with the guy, and it's a race. That's what's so great about this, is it's racing. You're neck and neck with a guy from Australia. Now, on the other hand, he just spilled his coffee and turned his wheel into you, and you're wrecked, and now half the field's wrecked. Whatever caused it, right? Or didn't shift, or didn't get a gear, or slipped a tire. It all happens. I mean, it's real time. It's real racing, and that's why we all love it, because it's right now. You're in my living room, or I'm in your living room, and we're racing tire to tire, door to door. You gotta love that. I mean, that's what's great. These setups, now when you're seeing these setups, they're not what they were. These are, even this footage now, this is like 3 patches back, and it's my setups are set up just even a little bit different, not quite as aggressive now. Cars are driving nice out the box, but here I think I switched to a Daytona setup I had, which I had really handling well. I think I added a little bit of downforce to it and took it out and it ran well. I did pretty solid lap times with it, not too bad. Got up, you know, up in the 5th or 6th or something like that. These guys are fast. And, you know, it can be make or break. You saw my other video. Things can just go so south in the first turn or even before the first turn. You know, all of us on these sim racing situations, you know how it is. Pedal to the metal. You can't get the brake fast enough. You know, it's not until you start to get some time in that you know what a cushion is. And it's tough to have a cushion sometimes. And with this is so actually such a great tire to asphalt. You know, it's so good that you feel like you can stop. You feel like you can have some extra brake, and you really can. So the racing can just be close and really great. Sometimes 3 cars through a 2-car turn. Done it. It can be good. I'm gonna post that. I got another video where that happened. You know, and it can happen. That's the thing. You know, here, this track penalties, it can be make or break, and they're still working on how that penalty system gets delivered. You know, now the latest patch, you've probably all seen it. You know, they evaluate, and it can. You know, I've had an evaluation sit on a whole lap and then go away. So sometimes you wonder what they're thinking about, right? It's comical, but it's not comical because you're invested. That's the whole thing. Is you're in it to win it. I mean, it's racing. And, you know, you invested, whether it's from gear or time, you know, sweat, you know, all those things that it takes to win. And not everyone approaches it to that level, because there's recreational drivers. They want to get out on the Sunday, have a good time, maybe take the car to the track, see how it runs. Well, that's what's awesome about this as well. You can take it right into, you know, single player and set up to 32 cars if you want. You can set up all the dynamics that you want. You can set up the way, the rate, or the ability of the opponent, and it's a good race. You know, you can start from the back, work your way through. Oh, you know, I don't like how that happened. I'm going to restart, and you can get practiced. Pretty soon, you've weaved your way right through the pack and pushing a good lap, or maybe you readjusted your setup because you realized there might have been something I could fix. You know, maybe you went and looked at someone's video real quick. There's a setup. Nice. Oh wow, look what that does. And with that said, with setups, sometimes one click can make or break. And you know, you wouldn't think that's the case, but you want to, you know, think the dramatic adjust, and maybe you went that one click too far. Now it just doesn't work. Maybe it's brake bias, or maybe it's a wing. You know, I was racing a gentleman. You guys might know the Jester. You know, he was in a LMDH car. We were doing the Daytona, you know, the latest stuff. It was a nighttime full kind of 24-hour race. It was a 30-minute race. And, you know, he was throwing down a really good time. And I had gone back and looked at his stream, and his downforce was a little less than mine. And I had done, well, I won that race, but I had a little bit more control because I had a little more downforce. And you know, those kind of things. And I looked at his speed and his problems, and he kept losing the car. Well, in project motor racing, once you lose the car, your tires get a little bit warm or hot. Maybe now you've got traffic. Everything can go sideways so quickly, you know. And with that said, sometimes aggressive braking could bring the car around. You've had it happen to you. I've had it happen to you. So when you run, you want to be as calm as you can, even though you're running with all your might and you've got the horses are breathing hard. It's so tough to have a clear head and, you know, think behind you and in front of you. That's racing. And so, you know, cheers to you, Chester. That was a great race. Great, you know, lobby you guys are running. appreciate that, being able to get in there. You know, and on the downside, a lot of guys are getting affected with the crashes, with the servers, with the stability. Yeah, well, any of us who are doing sim racing know that that is an issue. You've had to deal with it. You've had it happen. And, you know, you guys at PMR, you really, the word owe it to us. Well, if you're going to give us something that can do online multiplayer across the world, you got to make it strong enough to do the job. That's, I would say, number one. So, no slack right there. You got to just step up. You're going to lose your fan base if you don't step up in that. Spend the money, spend the time. Put in some time in this already. It is fantastic. Everyone that's running it right now loves how it drives. They want to race this game. You know, to hate is to hate. I don't really prefer that word. What we've been given here is beautiful. If anyone else out there had developed what this is in any fashion, we'd be so stupid proud of it, it'd be ridiculous, right? Think about it. I'm jumping in cars that never dreamed about being able to even walk up to, let alone drive on a laser scan track in real time with people all over the world. So a little bit of slack should be given, and a little bit of love for the efforts have been given. I think that being a little bit burnt feeling is understanding when you go out and break your fingertips or pull a muscle trying to make a buck, or burn your brain out trying to get your life straight, and here you want to have a good time out doing something that already you feel like somebody's got figured out. Obviously, it's a work in progress, but it's a worthy piece of work. Let's sit back, watch this race. This is a ranked race. Here, it's a few weeks back. And San Marino, which, again, PMR, spend the money, make the deals, make it legit, make it something that you should be proud of, and be able to hold your head up high, because people will invest. What you put in is what you get out, and people will back you when it's something that's legit. Come on. So, without any more bashing, all you guys out there, it's not worth the bash. No one would ever want to be bashed on for trying to bring something to the table. I'm sure you guys have all brought something to the table for someone before. And the last thing you wanted was to be bashed. So, rock and roll. Let's kind of relax a little bit. Have a good race, right? Rock and roll. Let's do that.
Been a good start. Remember to keep the nose clean into turn one. Back marker coming up is not for position. Get by as soon as you can. We don't want to lose any time. Back marker ahead isn't in the fight for position. Just get past them as soon as you can. Back marker coming up is not for position. Get by as soon as you can. We don't want to lose any time. Fastest lap. catching a back marker. Stay alert. Be careful. Careful with this back marker up ahead. They were well off the pace in practice. Catching a back marker, just be careful. You're the leader, mate. Final lap. Keep it on the island. back marker. This guy was all over the place a few laps ago, so be careful getting past.
Well, guys, PMR, hope you enjoyed the race. Guys, it's a great game. Hopefully it's something that's in your radar. Rock and roll, guys. Until next time, peace.